My name is Joshua Thompson, and I'm a classical pianist, and I exclusively specialize in programming the masterworks that were written by composers of African descent. That's something that kind of came about, I don't know, maybe 3 years ago, but prior to that, been a lifelong student of classical music. As a young child, I was always just really fascinated by classical music and just people who could sing and people who had that artistic gift. And for some reason, I don't know if it was a mix of natural talent and an interest, or maybe it was the fact that my parents said, you're not allowed to quit piano and trumpet lessons. I was good at it, or at least I felt like I was good at a young age. Good enough where it made me feel good about myself. Good enough where I wanted to continue to explore what else was out there and push myself. So this piece by William Grant Still, I think first premiered in 1933. And it's the second movement from Africa, which is the piano suite, and it's called Land of Romance. I'm pretty well skilled at the piano, also at the trumpet, but also I really enjoy writing, and not in the creative sense, but I'm a grant writer, and I like to spend a lot of my time working with other artists and individuals to help them find monies to fund their artistic projects, because that's a completely separate game, I think, between being a performer and then also figuring out how to finance and learn that part of the industry and the business. The fact that people notice I don't play with shoes on, sometimes it's more popular and interesting than my playing itself. It's just a thing. I've done it for the last several years. I used to play with a flautist. You know how certain people in their homes, they're like, hey, take your shoes off, and I'm like, all right, cool, so no big deal. But you also perform the way that you practice, and I got used to practicing without my shoes on. And I remember one time going up and playing, and I had shoes on, and something just did not feel legit. It didn't feel organic, and I was like, it's the shoes, take your shoes off. So I never wear shoes when I play. By the time I'm performing a piece, I've done all the work. I've taken all the time to think about full conceptualization of the work, the social movements that were going on when they were written, the histories of the composer. So by the time I'm performing it, I've teased out every single nuance. I have flushed out every color I see in my head when I listen to it, and every movement. So it's just a matter of sitting down and playing and just letting it go. When I perform, it's one of those, I have to stop myself from thinking and just really allow myself to sit in the moment and just enjoy the fact that I have an ability to take something I've worked on for months or weeks or who knows how long and just enjoy it. This piece that I really enjoy doing satisfies multiple different categories. It's probably one of the most virtuosic pieces that I play, but also it was written by an African-American woman by the name of Margaret Bonds, and it's called Troubled Water. I love to highlight it because composers of African descent have a hard time getting notoriety anyway. The women of African descent who are composers who contribute to this genre have an even tougher road when it comes to that. So I am very intentional about making sure that I am incorporating that as well. It's a brilliant piece. It's taking, again, the classical tradition, but Negro spiritual with jazz, with blues. Classical music in general just has, I think, a tougher road to hoe than some other genres. Just because, part of it is because I think that the genre programs itself on repeat way too much, right? We have these amazing masterworks by Bach and Beethoven and Mozart and Schumann and Brahms, and I think we've gotten away from using them as just mere examples, and we've gotten more towards, over the last several decades, to having them exclusively define the genre. That line of thinking, intentionally and unintentionally, has excluded so many people, whether they be performers, future patrons, and folks who contribute to the art form itself. And so what I would really like to do and like to see, and I think it's happening a little bit, is us being allowed to let the genre evolve and become more useful and utilitarian in the 21st century. And I think just one way of doing that is taking what's already there by being very comprehensive in the representation and the programming and intentional about it. So for me, it's taking the masterworks written by people of African descent. There's tons of it. Goes all the way back, predates the 16th and 17th centuries, all the way up to now. And it sounds different. There's an aesthetic that is different to it. So the use for that to explain history, to explain maybe how we classify particular periods in classical music in general, we haven't done that. And I think we can do that not just for composers of African descent. You could do that for any identity group that has been historically left out. About 3 years ago was when I intentionally decided to start exclusively programming and performing masterworks of classical music written by people of African descent, because it breathed new life into music for me in general. I played the Ravels and the Debussys and the Bachs, and I've enjoyed them, but it opened up a brand new world of music for me, and I was just like, wow, this just added longevity to something that I, at some point, didn't know if I still wanted to do anymore. The message that I feel like I'm here to give is, and always will be, way more important and way more fascinating than myself as the messenger. I'm fun for a little bit, but the message of promoting and advocating for and insisting on the intentional programming and performance of masterworks from people of African descent, that was a message that's been explained and talked about before I got here, while I'm here, and then when I'm not here anymore. It's still going to be a need for that. I want to see a different experience for young Black musicians specifically, people of color, and women in general, than I had growing up.